For decades, India has operated as one of the most consistent buyers of Russian military hardware. From advanced fighter jets to heavy ground armor, the defense pipeline flowed in one direction, from Moscow to New Delhi. The BrahMos supersonic cruise missile project began as an extension of this dynamic, a joint venture between India's DRDO and Russia's NPOM. Even within this partnership, India remained reliant on Russia to import the most complex internal components that made the weapon functional. For years, the BrahMos was an Indian exterior, housing a Russian engine, reinforcing India's status as a dependent partner. That relationship has reached a turning point. BrahMos Aerospace Chief Jaitirth Joshi announced a shift reversing the historical arrangement between the two countries. The Russian government is now actively looking to induct the BrahMos cruise missile into its own armed forces. Russia's domestic industry is currently unable to meet heightened production requirements. To fill the gap, Moscow has requested that the missiles be supplied directly from India. The very nation that originally provided the core blueprints and technology is now a prospective customer for the finished product. How did the Indian defense sector develop the capacity to supply its own original supplier? It all began with a major hardware milestone. Solar Group, an Indian firm, recently delivered the 100th completely indigenous booster for the BrahMos. This schematic highlights the rear booster, which initiates supersonic flight. Previously, waiting on Russian imports created a manufacturing bottleneck. Now, by building these boosters locally, India has dramatically scaled production from 1 unit a month to 6. The indigenization effort is now moving to the front of the missile, with the warhead itself transitioning to domestic manufacturing. This localized supply chain has created the volume necessary to meet both domestic needs and unexpected international demand. This production explosion is a direct result of the Make in India initiative. This policy shifted the defense sector away from simple assembly and toward deep-tier manufacturing of critical components. Producing the 100th booster locally keeps capital within the Indian industrial ecosystem that was previously sent abroad. The BrahMos has moved beyond being an import-dependent project. It is now a sovereign strategic asset. Success in the factory is only half the battle. International buyers rarely trust weapons that haven't been validated on a battlefield. For the BrahMos, that validation came during Operation Sindoor. It marked the first time the missile was used in a live combat scenario rather than a test launch or a computer simulation. Seeing the system operate under real-world pressure provided the data that international partners required. With the combat data confirmed, Vietnam has moved into the final stages of a major deal to acquire the system, with only minor clearances remaining. Operation Sindoor provided the proof of performance that changed the missile's status from a regional deterrent to a combat-proven export. The BrahMos program has completed a 25-year journey of development. A system that once stalled while waiting for foreign boosters is now being shipped to international partners like Vietnam. The original Russian co-creators are now in talks to become customers of the very system they helped start. India has moved past being a market for foreign defense contractors and is now a self-reliant competitor on the global stage.